18 days ago, Washington reached into the most powerful AI on the planet and switched it off. Last night, they lifted the ban, and today it comes back online. And the fans? Furious anyway. Because the same night the government blinked, the lab shipped a new model nobody asked for. So here's the real question. If a company can get shut down by the government, roasted by its own users, and still sit at number one, who's actually holding the keys? Stick around. The market's answer is going to annoy a lot of people. It starts with a launch that should have been a win. On June 30th, Anthropic released Sonnet 5, their newest Claude model. Pitch was simple, almost as smart as their top model, for a fraction of the price. And the most agentic Sonnet yet, meaning it can use tools and run multi-step tasks mostly on its own. You'd think cheaper and smarter is a clean win. That's not how the night went. Here's the part they didn't put on the slide. The price looks lower, $2 per million words in, 10 out. But Anthropic's own notes admit the new model chops text into more pieces, up to a third more, and you pay per piece. So the sticker's cheaper. The bill might not be. And on raw smarts, it still sits below their flagship. Better than the last Sonnet, but not the top of the shelf. The fans did the math out loud. Worst launch they've done. Nerfed to death. And the one that stung most? Give us Fable back. Why should you care? Because this is the model most people just got handed. Use the free or paid chatbot, and this is who you're talking to now. Like it or not. My read? It's a genuinely good tool. Sharper at agent work than what came before. But cheaper, with an asterisk you only find in the release notes. That's not the win the headline sold. And that reaction, give us Fable back, turned out to be the story. Because a few hours later, they got their wish. That was the warm-up, the fumble. This next one's the real headline, and it didn't come from the lab. It came from Washington. Rewind 2.5 weeks. The most powerful models this lab had ever built, Claude Fable 5 and Mythos 5, were brand new. They launched on June 9th. 3 days later, they went dark. Not a crash. A government order. It's called an export control. Government rules on what technology can leave the country. June 12th, citing national security, access was cut. Worldwide. Even to the lab's own staff who weren't U.S. citizens. Then, silence. For nearly 3 weeks, reporters said a return was on track. A weekend passed with no signature. Nothing. And then, on June 30th, it broke. Top down in under half an hour. It started at the White House. Then the Commerce Secretary, Howard Lutnick, signed off. Then a reporter ran with it. And finally, the company made it official. The receipt is a letter. Commerce Secretary Lutnick to the lab's chief compute officer. The company agreed to hunt security risks, coordinate with the government, and flag bad actors. In return, one line that mattered, a license is no longer required. Access starts coming back the next day, July 1st, which is today. The scoop didn't come from a press office. An insider who goes by Leo, citing Politico, called it about an hour before the official post. When the company confirmed, 3.5 million people watched. Here's why this one's bigger than a launch. A government just switched a specific AI off and back on. Not a law. Not a court. A letter. That's new. So sit with what actually happened. A private lab and the government spent 3 weeks, behind closed doors, negotiating who gets to hold the most powerful AI on Earth, and settled it with the signature. Good that it's back. Worth noticing how it came back. What we don't know yet, whether it returns for everyone or only for verified users inside the US. Leaked hints point one way. The company hasn't said. I'll call it when they do. Not before. So one model comes home, the other face plants. A week like that should cost a company. Watch what happened instead. Roasted by users. Shut down by the government. You'd bet the crown slips. Somebody did bet. Here's where they put their money. While the fans raged, people were betting real cash on the outcome. It's called a prediction market. Strangers put money on what happens, and the live odds are the crowd's best guess. The question on the board, who has the best AI model by the end of July? As of July 1st, the crowd gave Anthropic about 84%, Google 13%, And OpenAI? Under 3. Now, that's a bet, not a fact. The market prices the vibe. It doesn't run the tests, but the signal's loud. Shut down by Washington and roasted by its own users in the same week. And the smart money didn't blink. Which answers our question. Who's holding the keys? Not the users. They got ignored. Not really the government. They handed it back in 3 weeks. The lab kept the crown the entire time. That's the cyberpunk part nobody's saying out loud. The power here isn't spreading. It's pooling. In very few hands. So, watch what those hands do. Not what they post. So, switched off 19 days ago, back online today. And still number 1. The keys never changed hands. But here's your part in it. You don't have to pick one AI and pray. The people who didn't lose a step when the big model went dark had one habit. They never bet everything on a single brain. That move works for you too. None of us run these labs. We don't have to. We just have to keep watching who's holding the keys. And next time one gets switched off, you'll know exactly what you're looking at. That's the overwrite. Hit subscribe. I'll see you at the next one.